Hi Cancers, this is your January Tarot and Oracle Abundance reading, or I should say your January Abundance Tarot and Oracle reading. So let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to look at what's kind of going on, what's happening in the month of January in terms of your abundance, and then what tools you'll be utilizing as far as cultivating your abundance, and then your outcome of the month of, you know, your takeaways from January, what you will take with you into the future, and what you will leave behind. So let's get started. First up, let's look at what's happening in terms of abundance for Cancers in January, Spirit. Thank you. We have the Magician. Nice. Like that. Okay. Alright. Spirit, can you give us a little bit more information about the Magician? Okay. God is your source. Alright. Let's scoot you over. Okay, can you give us a little bit more insight on these two cards for Cancers in Abundance 2019? Ooh, message. Okay. What tools will... Thank you, Spirit. This is the tool you'll be utilizing. Cancers is the Three of Wands. Nice. Give us more information about the Three of Wands. Thank you. Cooperation instead of competition. Okay, like that. Keep doing that. All right. And any additional insights? Thank you. Oh, failure. Okay. Interesting. All right. And then finally, in January for Cancers. Okay. This is take away the Three of Swords. This is like your takeaway message of, you know, what you will be leaving behind or taking with you. Oh, yeah, the Emperor. Okay. And what is the Three of Swords and the Emperor? Oh, thank you, Spirit. Do the work. Face your financial fears. Nice. And any additional messages? Thank you, Spirit. Soul, Sun. So remaining optimistic through it all, knowing that things are shining bright. Okay. All right, let's get to it. Let's see. So, what's happening this month? You have the Magician. So that's powerful. Like I said in your general life reading, that things in terms of your abundance area of your life, they're looking solid. The Magician shows that you are recognizing that God is your source. Some of you will be getting a message, getting some news of the works that you've been putting out in the past will start to bear fruit. You're going to get notice of people wanting to work with you, and you're going to have some opportunities, and you're going to get messages, and whether it's emails or voicemails or actual mailed offers, you will be getting messages sent to you. And God is your source. So I'll read the bottom of the part of the card here. It says, everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share. Okay, so the magician shows that you are recognizing that you are clear about that. Not everyone is clear about that. It's not your job, your individual job. It's not your business even. It's you. You and your connection to Source Spirit is the magician energy, is your source. And what's beautiful about that is that anything can feed your sources. You don't have to just rely on one method, and you can have many different ways of getting income to you. And so it's a powerful manifestational time for you Cancers in January. You really have a lot of potential to manifest some great things this time. And yet think you recognize it and you're really tapping into that. What tools you can utilize, these are some interesting tools that I thought that came about. They were actually quite interesting. So you have the Three of Wands. It's like settings, getting out there, getting ready to go off on that journey to start that new opportunity, to explore that new opportunity that you have been kicking around. I love how this person sits standing on this little vista here, kind of looking out. And, with the Two of Wands, that's when you're kind of in the initial planning stages. In the Tools position, this is saying, now that you're past the two, where you're kind of in the initial phases, it's time to move forward and go on and set forth and onto your journey, onto your project, onto what you're trying to manifest. You will start to bear some initial successes, some fruit from taking this first step and remaining optimistic about the whole thing. Now, this card I love because in the Tools position it's saying don't look at things as failures. Look at them as opportunities to get better, opportunities to try something new or to do something new. And that if you are in competition mode, even if you don't intend to, even if you really set your intentions not to be in competition mode, but you just can't help it, just remember that, your power, your magician power ends and begins with you, not anyone else. So the moment that you realize that, the moment that you won't see your failures as failures, you'll see them as opportunities to get better. You won't look at how your failures pale or how they compare to your competition, if you will. You'll look at it as, wow, they're doing something really good and really exciting. But, I've got many things up in the air right now, and it's just a matter of time before I start getting messages of those things finally starting to land into my lap. And I love this. Cooperation instead of competition. It says, what's yours is yours, and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, as there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. So remember that. It's like this month, there's going to be little instances where there's little pangs of jealousy, where, you're seeing other people kind of who are doing similar work that you're doing. They're, exploring different opportunities or whatnot. You just have to just keep going, go beyond this initial success of the Three of Wands and see how far you can go. Set your sights on something bigger and remain optimistic while you're doing it, and recognize that failure is not really failure. It's an opportunity to get better. It's an opportunity to do better next time. It's an opportunity to grow, not to fail, And some people may, like I said, some people will have success and some people may have failure. But in the end, you're only competing with yourself. You're not competing with anyone else. And then finally, these are the takeaway messages, or what's happening at the end of January, and also what you will be leaving behind and what you'll be taking forth. You have the Three of Swords and the Emperor card. And the Three of Swords is about feeling like you've been betrayed. Maybe you feel like your employer betrayed you. They didn't tell you the truth about giving you a raise. Maybe, you know, you're having to deal with some governmental entity, whether it's the IRS, and you're having some disappointments there. You're kind of fearful about what's to come with this, and you definitely are disappointed in yourself, disappointed in the situation at hand. But honestly, things are going to work out, because we have the Soul card. This is a positive, affirmative card. This is like the Sun card. It is optimistic. It is sunshine. It is, things are going to work out. Things look a little worrisome right now for you for whatever reason, but they will work out. You just have to do the work and face your financial fears. I love this, like sitting next to the Three of Swords here. It's saying, do the work. It's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that you are being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. And so sometimes you're like, I don't know if I can do this work. I don't know if I can get this done. I'm trying to get everything done, but I feel like I'm disappointing myself. I'm disappointing others. I'm letting down others. I'm feeling like I'm betraying my own goals that I had set out for myself. You've got to release that and just put your nose to the grindstone at this point. Release the guilt, release the not just the guilt, but just trying to do everything out of obligation. Now is the time to get clear about what it is you really want out of your life, and then really see how much it would cost to get that. And you'll find that many of the lifestyles that we're trying to live, you know, albeit you may not be able to live maybe in an expensive city in America, but you may be able to find a way to do what you wish to do on a much smaller scale, but be very happy and fulfilled while you're doing it. And maybe it's time to break up with the ideals of doing a whole lot of work and now entering a season of, you know, just letting go and moving forward as you need to. I like that. It says, face your financial fears. When you are honest with yourself about your fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you, in fact, have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. So perhaps, you know, some of you are dealing with debts and dealing with or let's first address the debt. So, because what I want to do is address debts or fears of, you know, having to retire early, or, you know, losing your job, and as far as debts go, you have to look at it. You have to look at it square in the face, as opposed to looking down, looking away, like this Three of Swords is. Three of Swords is all, you know, feeling guilty or feeling down or feeling like they betrayed themselves or betrayed loved ones. No, you have to turn your head and look at it face to face and say, you know what, I'm going to face this. This is where I'm at, and this is what I can reasonably pay. I've gone through all my finances. I've looked at everything. I'm going to face my financial fears and just deal with this head on. And it may be uncomfortable, but I'm going to do the work. I'm going to face my financial fears, and I'm going to have a positive, a really sunny and optimistic outcome when it's all said and done. And as far as those who are worried about getting laid off, again, it's that same thing. It's like, well, you need to do the work. Where is that coming from? Is that really rooted or grounded in some actual stuff happening at work or not? And at the end of the day, when you remember that God is your source, you don't get thrown by financial fears anymore. You just know, like, I am supported. Spirit supports me, and I am taken care of, and I know that everything is working out for my greater good, my highest good. So I'm gonna just relax and cut myself some slack and give myself some compassion in this situation. All right, my dears. Well, there you have it. You have your abundance reading for January 2019. Thank you so much, Cancers, for watching. Much love. Bye.